So next on our electric door lock, right? So our door lock this time doesn't have buttons. It uses a joystick, right? You've seen the videos on them already. Now we use a joystick, and then we input a specific gesture pattern to open the door lock. So this is a new model. This one replaced the servo and the linear actuator that's also there. Well, the servo worked, they all work, but I mean, just advancement of each of them. So we have the joystick didn't change. We now have this model. This model still uses our geared motor, just as we used in this guy. Right, this one also has a geared motor. This time we built the whole linear actuator into our keys, right? So our our electric door lock has a keys like this. So this was 3D printed. It's just a cube with an indent inside. And then there is this piece here. This is where our linear actuator will be. So I 3D printed this and it fits onto the geared motor, and then it has a screw. Yep, it has a long screw here. So one thing about the screw that didn't really work well is this screw is very long, and then the spaces in between them are very small. So it has to be on for a long time to move this from here to lock the door, and then backwards to open the door. But that's okay. And then we also changed our processor. So at first we used the ESP32C3. This time we use an ESP32C3. The C3 is very small, so definitely we have more space and uses less power, and it can do everything we want it to do just as the ESP32 one, because we have our analog signal here, and this guy too can. And the C3 has 5 analog pins, so it still works. So that's the connection here. I'll move it onto a PCB in the next design. That's the buzzer we'll use for feedback, and then we'll connect this to our, our linear actuator here, and then we'll test it out. So one another thing we have to work on in this version is the C3 gives us just 3.3 volts output. That means that we cannot really control the motor from there. So we'll have to get a motor driver, and then the signal is going to move the motor, and then maybe we also have to work on getting a 5 volt battery instead of a 3.7 volt lithium ion battery. So we'll work on those two, and then the system should be tested on a door and see how far it goes. So in the next, maybe in a better way, we will replace this screw, because the spaces are very small, with ones that have large spaces in between the, I don't know what they are called, the teeth of the screw. It's in the teeth of the screw. But apart from that, everything is cool. Yep, this design is so sleek. So we're going to fix this on the door. This is the side that's going to be connected to the door, with the part of the door, the part of the door that locks the door. The part of the door that locks here, that moves to lock here. This is going to be attached to that spot. Right, joystick, the microprocessor. Right, so that's it for this version of our door lock.